Today on this 9/11, we have the Director of Jackson Police and Fire Services, our Police Chief Elmer Hitt, and Jackson Fire Department's Deputy Chief Tim Gonzalez. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. We wanted to have you here on 9/11 to stand in for all those in first responders who serve our community. So thanks to you and all of your team for all that you do all the time.
We appreciate that, and certainly appreciate you recognizing us as well as all the members. Not just of the Jackson Police and Fire, but countywide, all the fire departments and police agencies throughout the county.
We've witnessed some incredible response by first responders at some events. We've had false alarms, thank God, at a couple of our schools. We've had some huge fires. We've had some other incidents where the response is, it really is, it's mind-blowing. You guys are there, and it's in no time. And it seems like over the years, there's no hesitation, and that is something that is really, you are training for that. You don't even think twice about going into danger.
Sure. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I'll just say it's a testament to the community support that we have, the training, the city, just the investment they've done and given to the first responders that allows us the ability to act, know with a split second what to do. And like I said, I just couldn't be more proud of the men and women that we have serving our communities right now.
The fire service, it really is a brotherhood, and I know when all those lives were lost on 9/11, it was personal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But how old were you, Tim, when?
I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so that dates myself a little bit. Yes.
But you knew you were going to be a firefighter at that point.
yes. That was my calling, and look at this, and I'm just so grateful that everything lined up, and that I can be serving the community like I am in this capacity.
Do you remember where you were, Elmer?
Exactly. It was when I was assigned to the resident officer position. I lived in the house on Mason Street, and I remember I worked the night before, and I had just gotten up and turned the TV on, and the first plane had just struck the tower, and then of course minutes later, as I'm watching it, the second plane as well. So yeah, won't forget it.
Yeah. And I think those of us, you didn't have kids yet, did you?
Did. I had one. We had one brand new baby at the time.
And that's the first thing you think of. For us, we had kids at home, one at home, one in college, and we said, come home. No one knew what was happening.
What was going on?
For the longest time.
Yeah. Scary time.
Yeah. And it seems like we had people from all over the country that went to New York to help with the rescue and recovery efforts. And I know we even had people from Jackson that went. It does, and I think so many were affected by that were driven to a career as a first responder.
Yeah, I certainly think an event of that magnitude, it drew some that may have never thought that was their career path or their calling that turned them that way. And we did. I think everybody wanted to help in one way or another, and there were a lot of first responders that just jumped in their cars and headed that way, and not really knowing what they were going to do when they got there exactly, or what they were going to see and get into, but just felt some drive to help in one way or another.
Well, that's what we do. One of the things that we do on 9/11, and participating today in the Spirit America blood drive, and I think you've got the fire truck over there.
Yeah, we have fire trucks down there today. I know I'll be heading down there right after I leave here to do my thing, and I know there's many of the off-duty firefighters as well as officers that are heading down there to give their support as well. So.
I do know there's a lot of openings still. I believe you can just show up and give, but one of our guys got on the site this morning to register himself, and there were still a lot of openings and availability to schedule yourself an appointment as well. And how long, you know how late it goes?
Till 6.
Till 6 o'clock. So
Yep.
lot of opportunity. And you don't have to be a first responder. It's
Yeah.
it's open to anyone that wants to donate blood today.
And also tonight, the Tunnel to Towers organization and Jackson County Parks inviting first responders and everyone in the community to be at the Light Up the Falls tonight.
Okay.
So if you're a first responder, you're encouraged to attend and wear your gear as well. Yesterday we had the Blue Mass at St. Mary's, a number of the community's first responders honored and in attendance at that as well, always near the anniversary of 9/11. Last time I saw the two of you, you were teamed up for the National Night Out event at Loomis Park. You guys must have been happy with the response and the turnout.
Yeah, it was a great event that night. Really exceeded my expectations as far as the attendance, so it was nice to see. Weather certainly cooperated as well and helped, but yeah, great event. Good to see people come out.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night. And had I known there were going to be all those hot dogs, I would have gone earlier.
Yeah, I
Next
think
time.
we still have some left over in the freezer. So
We had a big fire in Jackson, the big fire, a couple of weeks ago. Have we learned that? Do we know anything about that, the North Street property?
yeah, I'll let Tim talk more about it. But as far as what we know, it certainly is still under investigation. There has been no official determination made yet on the cause of that. In working with the state police, fire investigation, arson investigators, that is still an open case right now, but no definitive news to share in terms of the cause.
Tim, I believe we had a couple of firefighters who had some injuries.
Yeah, it was a long event. Thankfully, the weather wasn't as hot, but we did have 4 firefighters that were overcome with heat exhaustion, not heat directly related to the actual fire burns related, but heat from just exhaustion. We had fire crews out there, and it ended up being around about 24 hours. They were out there putting out hot spots. But I will say one thing that event showed is just the great response that not only the city fire department, Summit Fire Department, Blackman, Spring Arbor, but all the fire departments in our community. Something like that with that magnitude, and the ability for us to communicate as one team with law enforcement, our DPW turning up water pressure to get us more water. It was an all hands on effort, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody that participated in that. So just tremendous effort. The community, everybody that lives in the community should be proud of every single one that was on there. I know me being out on the scene, I couldn't have been more proud of our firefighters that day.
I went by the other day and I saw how close the houses were to that property. I mean, you see all the things that happened in Hawaii and the out west wildfires. That could have gone out of control, and it could have been a lot worse.
Yes. Yeah, it most definitely could have, and the pictures, the drone footage, it's all pretty spectacular. But just the coordinated effort that was done by the command and by the boots that were on the ground to make sure that didn't get any farther out of hand that it was when we got there.
All right, and it looks like it just got hugely out of control. I don't know if you call that out of control, but it looked like it was going out of control. At what point did you get the call? How was it?
It came in actually as smoke in the area. Smoke in the area. I was one of the first ones on scene within 3 minutes. We ended up going inside, and just by the amount of fire that it was already going, pushed our crews back, and we ended up having to take that defensive position that you saw, and writing out some of our losses to save the rest of the building. So
It is safe to say, and I don't have certainly a timeline, but that fire had been going inside for quite some time before the smoke started to show and causing somebody to call. So, as Tim said, a couple crews actually did go into that pretty quickly, and it was determined within a short amount of time that it was too far gone as far as the fire itself inside and the amount of heat, and had to move out and just contain it.
Well, nice job, everybody. you are always looking for people, and right now you are looking for reserve officers.
Yes, we the police department, we typically have a reserve academy every 1 or 2 years, and it kind of, the need is based upon the current numbers of reserve officers that we have. And right now I think we have 19, and we like to maintain 25 to 30. So we have a need to put on a reserve academy, and there's a city ordinance that authorizes the police department to have a reserve force. And what reserves are, they're really volunteers. In that we have an academy we put on. It's about 16 weeks long, 2 nights a week, where the candidates go through a lot of different law enforcement related training, of course, firearms related stuff, use of force, but legal law, criminal law as well. But we really rely heavily on our reserves to help us police special events, some of the larger events such as the Rose Parade, the Hot Air Jubilee, Gus Macker, all the walks and runs that you see go on throughout the community. Those reserves help us to be able to effectively.
Yeah, and you've got
police
quite a
those.
few that have been doing it for decades.
We do. We have many that have been around years, and you're right, decades. and over time, though, those people move on, and then it creates a need to fill those spots. So we are accepting applications. Go to the city's website, to the police department page. There's a link right there to the reserve application, and submit it and be part of the process.
I see there's a psychological examination. Do you bring people in and you cuff them to the table in the interview room and then do a good cop, bad cop kind
Exactly.
of thing?
That's exactly what we do. No, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the process to become a reserve, as far as the hiring process, is pretty much identical to when we hire a new police officer. They have to go through a medical exam and a drug screen and the psychological exam by a psychologist that runs a battery of tests and does an evaluation to make sure the person is capable of performing that type of work.
Sure, makes sense. How about staffing at the fire department?
Well, we have one, our Chief Everett's retiring Friday, so we just got set up with all our promotions. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be in a holding pattern for a little bit. So.
Great. Well, a reminder, the Spirit of America blood drive continues until about 6 o'clock tonight. Just head over to the America One Event Center at Keeley Park. And in honor of all those who keep us safe on this Patriot Day, September 11th. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
us.
us.
From the City of Jackson, Director of Police and Fire Services, Elmer Hitt, and Deputy Chief of the Jackson Fire Department, Tim Gonzalez. Up next,